Hey folks, it is April 19th, Wednesday, and for this video, well, not for the video, it just happens that I am wearing a porcupine tree shirt, but it's appropriate because this video I'm going to focus on reviewing Richard Barbieri's brand new solo album, Planets plus Persona, or Planets and Persona. As some of you who have been following me know, I am a big fan of Porcupine Tree. I'm wearing the Light Bulb Sun t-shirt. But it's not really because of Steven Wilson, and I want to tell the story right quick because it's good. Just like I've been lamenting the passing of Alan Holdsworth, and that's nothing new. I've been loving his guitar playing for decades. Actually pulled another CD that I forgot that I had that he's on. Softworks, Abracadabra. Past members of Soft Machine with Alan Holdsworth on here. I had never heard all the solos by Alan on this album. Mainly because I was bored with Elton Dean's sax playing on here, honestly. But to get back to Richard Barbieri and Porcupine Tree, I just want to put a little bit of perspective on it, if I can, because I came to Porcupine Tree through No Man, the band No Man, and the reason why I bothered with No Man was because they were working, Steve Wilson and Tim Bounds were working with Richard Barbieri and Steve Jansen of the band Japan. And I'm a big fan of Japan. Now, when I first caught wind of Japan, it was when they were still, I have an early album. Well, I have Assemblage. It's when they were still like looking a bit like the New York Dolls, who I liked, and I was intrigued with that androgynous thing. But they quickly grew musically. When this album came out, Quiet Life, I really liked this. And it just got better. Gentlemen Take Polaroids, and then their masterpiece, Japan Tin Drum. Well, a very important aspect of that music and its personality is the sound of the individual members. Steve Jansen's drumming, Mick Karn's amazing bass playing, and Richard Barbieri's very singular sounding keyboards. I have more Japan. They get stuck together. Some singles here. All Tomorrow's Parties, Night Porter. And so I became a dedicated follower of Jansen Barbieri when Japan broke up. Richard Barbieri's keyboard work is very atmospheric. It's like almost immediately recognizable. It has everything to do with the individuality that I associate with the sounds of the bands Japan and Porcupine Tree. It's Richard Barbieri's keyboard work. And so I just want to put into context that Richard Barbieri, I've been a fan of his work for a long time. And so when recently he not only accepted my friend request on Facebook, but he actually started to talk to me. It was like it just meant the world to me. Now, before I do the review, I want to again try to give you some context why all this stuff is so important to me. Whereas maybe someone who maybe grew up in New York or LA or someplace where the industry is readily available, meeting people in the music business is no big deal. And really, ultimately, it isn't. They're just people. But I am from Omaha, Nebraska. I still live here. There is no music industry here like that, and so like a band like Japan never came anywhere close to Omaha. Porcupine Tree, they played in Kansas City. So I've seen Porcupine Tree 4 or 5 times, but these kind of people, you don't run into in Omaha too often, okay? And then, as I say, growing up through the 60s, and to me, the most magical period of rock music, it was like a world away. The whole world of musicians and stuff. It was like something that I had to fantasize about. So, at this point in my life where I'm actually friends and you know, acquainted with musicians whose music really means a lot to me, that means a lot to me. So with all that said, Richard Barbieri's Planets and Persona, I can't recommend this album highly enough. This is exactly what I'm looking for, and I think this is exactly what some of you all are looking for and don't know it, okay? Let me put it like this. This is wonderful. It looks like an ice cave of some sort. The cover, double album. This is instrumental. It has aspects of ambient, psychedelic, jazz, and rock. There are vocal elements here, but just the way that I like them. Richard Barbieri uses the voices on the album as textures, not for the words, but for further texture. And let me tell you, if you guys are nerds about audio equipment, which I'm not, although I have a good stereo which has been pieced together, I don't talk about it because I'm not an audio nerd and I don't know about audio tech. I just know what I like. But this album is gorgeous with detail, timbre, shading. I mean, it's a great record if you want to really listen closely to how good your stereo is, or you're the sort of listener like I am that's listening to the shape of the sound as well as the music. This is definitely one of my albums of the year. Definitely one of the albums of the year. I want to recommend this super highly. Richard, I'm going to send you a link, so I want to compliment you for following your muse. There are aspects of the way that the sound is on here where there are touchstones of familiarity. That's why I say Porcupine Tree fans, even Steven Wilson dedicated fans, but fans of the band Porcupine Tree, you need to get this. This is a continuation of the magical element. I don't know if that's the best word to use. But Richard Barbieri's keyboard and sound work is an integral part of what makes Porcupine Tree special. And it's his work. This is his work. And Tree fans, you just need to hear this. You'll get lost in it. Yeah, I like the fact that Richard stretches himself on this album. There are a couple of tracks that are downright jazzy. And it's Solar Storm, for example, you know, caught my attention. It's like, well, this is different for Richard, and it's working. It's working. I can't say enough about this album, even though I've only listened to it about 4 or 5 times. It's going to be a repeater for me. The other thing I wanted to try to remember to say about this is I'm pretty sure that this is a conscious, this is conscious on Richard's part. Richard Barbieri constructs wonderful sounds and timbres. Really is a master at creating atmosphere. And I noticed on one song, but it's not just one, but on one song in particular, the piano sound, I said, that's it. It's a nod to Echoes, Pink Floyd's Echoes, off of Metal. That watery sounding piano. It's got to be conscious, right, Richard? I mean, it's like, you know, it's to me, it's just so. At first, I thought I was just catching it, and then you do it a couple times. It's like that is a definite reference to Pink Floyd, and a wonderful one. The other thing I want to say about this is that this is a K-scope, 180 gram pressing, And whoever they're using to press their records has got it down. This is dead quiet. Man, this is such a beautiful, quiet pressing of an album. So nice, so nice. It means a lot to me, Richard, that you personally wanted me to have this. Thank you so much. It also means a lot to me that after I sent you a copy of my album Flyover and the download copy that you had and the download code, that you actually downloaded it and you listened to it and you like it. I've gotten that feedback from Richard Barbieri. He likes my album Flyover. I gave him a copy. This is exactly what the world needs. Not more garbage, babbling, entertainment, mindless. This is deep. This has a lot of substance. A lot of work went into this. A lot of thought and a lot of detail and craft is involved here. You don't need words to muck up this sound. There is the sound of the human voice there to give you that comfort, that connection that many people seem to need. But it doesn't get in the way. And also the other thing I'll say is that Richard is a master of evoking mood, because the album has several moods. My favorite parts of the album are when it's spatial and when it's setting up atmosphere. There's a couple of dark things on here, like Unholy and Night of the Hunter. Those have more of a dark, that's the focus. It's like, okay, we're going down now. For those that like that, here it is in spades. I like it when he takes me to space and this direction. Shafts of Light, Interstellar Medium. Wow. Fantastic work, Richard Barbieri. Absolutely fantastic. Definitely one of the albums of the year for me. Absolutely. Highly recommend this album. Highly recommend this album. The world needs real art. This is it. This is it. Fantastic album, Richard Barbieri. Fantastic. Folks, don't even hesitate. Man, this is beautiful. Fantastic work.